My name is Yiyang Fletcher, and my student ID is 210957007D. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for watching this video. I'm delighted to present it to you today. Let's start with the question. Do you think romance games are common in our daily life? According to data released by the Hong Kong Police, in 2019, nearly 600 cases reported, and the total amount of romance games reached 200 million Hong Kong dollars. The outbreak of the epidemic has made more people start online dating, which has also given romance gamers more opportunities to cheat. The US Federal Trade Commission has pointed out that from 2017 to 2021, the number of the cases involving fraud has increased from 17,000 to 56,000, almost 2 times, and the amount has also increased to 500 million. That's nearly a 7 times increase. Obviously, romance games are in our lives, and it could be someone you just know, perhaps you met, maybe you haven't met yet. But romance games have done a lot of damage to victims. Therefore, in this presentation, I'll be focusing on how romance games happen and their impact, and I will provide corresponding solution to prevent and minimize the impact. The presentation will be divided into 3 parts. First of all, I'll be talking about the one most notable impact. In the second place, I'll be providing one solution to deal with the impact. Finally, I will give a short recap on the entire presentation. Let's begin by looking at the notable impact. Romance gamers are usually very charismatic. They are wealthy and humorous. Most of them are very popular. But this may just be an illusion. Once victims start to believe in him, or after putting in their heart, they will take advantage of victims' emotions and start borrowing money from them. The reason may be investment or their own bank card account is frozen. They will forge all kinds of photos and evidence to win victims' trust, and even teach them how to apply for credit cards from different banks. As soon as the victim finds that they can no longer lend the actual money, or they realize that they have been deceived, the romance scammer will disappear immediately. Many victims, unable to bear the enormous property damage, began to develop a mental illness. For instance, they have insomnia, lose interest in life, and some become anxious and depressed. According to Cohen's research in 2013, the psychological problems caused by emotional trauma to victims will also make many people unable to concentrate on their work and choose to resign. Some victims even commit suicide if their emotional problems develop into mental illness that cannot be addressed. At the same time, due to the high bills to pay, many victims cannot pay their debts and choose to file for bankruptcy. In general, there are tragic impacts that we don't want to see, so let me now turn to the solution. In order to reduce the loss of victims or romance scams or to prevent such tragedies, I suggest a significant solution here, which is seek multiple perspectives help. As an illustration, after being deceived, seek professional psychological consultant or doctor for consultation or treatment. Drew wrote in a 2020 paper that receiving professional counseling for long periods of time will make the psychological well-being of most victims better. However, another multiple perspectives help example is a victim can avoid being cheated at the headstring of the incident. They could try to share their experiences with their friends or family, including their lover or date's personal information, personality, and some of the things he did. Most victims are not rational when they fall in love with a person. If there is another person who can rationally help them to see the problem, they can often detect the fraud before it happens and stop it. Drew also mentioned a method called money handling, which enables victims to regard money as a signal. Once receiving any information about money during communication, they should carefully consider and even suspect the other's motive. For example, once borrowing money is mentioned, they should refuse without hesitation. Let's summarize briefly what we've looked at. One notable impact of romance games which is economy losses. Meanwhile, I've also proposed one solution to deal with the problem which is seeking multiple perspectives help. I strongly hope that this kind of negative effect will not happen again as much as possible, but romance games are games and we cannot completely avoid them. But we can do everything we could to educate people about the truths of the romance games and how to deal with them like such games happening. To minimize the psychological and spiritual damage to the victims is what a friendly society should do. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. Good day.